the next video in our channel about the K-1 visa process. This video is about the I-129F petition. This is a petition for your alien fiance to be able to come to the United States to marry you, the U.S. citizen. I am the U.S. citizen in this case, so I will be taking the lead on this video. So, first things first, you need the right form. Petition, please. Your petition looks something like this. Yes? You can find the form and everything you need on the USCIS website, and you'll see the link below in our video description. You want to make sure you have the updated form as they update it on a regular basis, and you'll be able to check on this top corner here when the petition expires, so how long it's valid. In case you download it early, in order to prepare, make sure you still have the updated form before you send it in. So, in this video, you will learn how to fill out the form, how to find and provide your supporting documentation, and how to get through some of the more difficult or confusing sections of the petition. So, if those things are important to you, keep watching. Now, we mentioned this before in our earlier videos. However, we want to reiterate there are some basic requirements for this visa. You need to be able to legally marry. You need to be of a legal age. Neither of you can be still legally married to another person. And you need to intend to marry within 90 days of your fiance entering the country. And you need to have met in person within the last 2 years. Again, there are a couple exceptions to this meeting in person rule. However, we will not address those exceptions here, but you can find more information about that on the USCIS website as well. It's worth noting at this point, the petition has a filing fee. For us, it was about $535, but they do update those fees on a fairly regular basis, so it may have risen slightly since the time that we applied, but it was recent. So it wouldn't have been too much. So it's a big chunk of money. You probably want to start saving up in advance. When you start to go over the form, first of all, read all the instructions. It'll be hard. Drink your coffee. Some of it will seem boring and irrelevant, but it's important to get the big picture of the form and how they want you to fill it out. Next, mostly it's pretty simple. Fill in the blank. You don't stress about the form itself. It's more the evidence that you provide in addition to the form. That's the bigger chunk of the work. So as you start to fill out your petition, you might run into some more challenging sections. This is a moment where we have a question for you. So when we were filling out Part 1, numbers 27A through 36B, the parents' information, it was pretty simple. We both of our blood-related parents are alive and well and are part of our lives, so it was easy to fill out their information. However, we understand some people may have a parent who is deceased, or they may have a step-parent that is now their legal guardian. So we are curious to know how often that really applies, because the petition itself doesn't address those irregular situations. So please comment below and let us know if you have a different parent situation. We'd be happy to help you do some research and figure out the best way to approach that section. The next section is Part 1, 40A through 42C. This is asking about the petitioners, that would be you, the U.S. citizen, about your citizen or naturalization status. This was a little bit confusing for me. So you check a box about your citizenship status. I'm a citizen by birth in the United States. And then it goes on to ask you for a certificate of citizenship or naturalization. I don't have any of those things, and it never said that I didn't have to have those things, but rest assured, we sent in our petition with just the box checked that I was a citizen through birth in the United States, and you don't have to fill out or have any sort of certificate of citizenships or naturalization. If that was the case, you would know that that applies to you and you would have that information. Next trouble section. Part 2, this is information about your foreign fiance, or also referred to as the beneficiary. In section 10A through 10C, it asks for other names used. You might think, of course, they have no aliases, no other names, no stress. However, it also lists nicknames. And we went back and forth on this a couple of times. My fiance's Ukrainian name is Alexander. He's always referred to as Alex, especially since in his work he's usually interacting with guests in English. He's always referred to as Alex. He's also referred to as Alex in a lot of the paperwork and supporting evidence that we submitted in our documents. So we thought it was important to list Alex as an other name used. So we only filled out the first name section, wrote Alex, and that was it. Pretty simple. I've never had to list a nickname used in an official document, but I think for these purposes, it's important to cover all of your bases, especially anything that appears in the documents that you submit as your additional evidence. Part 2, number 37 through 38H, asks if your fiance or your beneficiary has ever been in the United States. Ever. The answer to that question for us was yes. The next questions, it asks you about his I-94 record, which is his arrival and departure records coming in and out of the United States. So my fiance does have this. However, you'll see at the beginning of section 38, it mentions on the petition to only fill that out if your fiance is currently residing in the United States. My fiance is not currently residing in the United States, but we do have I-94 information, and we thought surely they would want to know that. However, if you look at the directions or the instructions for the I-129F, it asks you to check that box or to say if your fiance has ever been in the United States. There's some conflicting information on the instructions and then on the petition itself. So in the instructions, you realize that first sentence to mention if your fiance has ever been in the United States is only applicable to that first question in that section, question 37. Then you want to follow the directions that you see on the petition, which says only fill out the section about the I-94, 38A through H, if your fiance is currently residing in the United States. So we did not fill out that section and our petition was approved. However, we did decide to include all of his information in case they should like it in our additional documentation. So below we'll include a link to where you can find this information, but you can include your fiance's I-94 records and the additional evidence if you think it's helpful, but don't worry about filling out that section. Now for the biggest and I think most important part of your petition. So thank you so much for listening to our video about the I-129F petition. We hope it was helpful for you, and please like, subscribe, leave comments and questions, and let us know if there are any parts of the petition that are causing you trouble, and we'd love to help however we can. Thanks for watching.